Hey, what's going on, everyone? Mike Fox here. So, I have received quite a few requests for this particular video. I know there's a lot of you out there who are incredibly curious about Storm Choir Ultimate versus Chorus, and with good reason, right? I mean, both excel at that over-the-top, epic, whatever, the F dynamic. And so, and both libraries are priced at about the same. So, it's no wonder why people are so curious about the two libraries. So we're going to go ahead and dive right in, and I'm going to do my best to show you the differences between the two libraries, because even though they are kind of similar, they're also very different. And we're going to talk about that. So let's get right to it. All right, so where to begin? Both libraries are incredibly vast. There's a lot of content, and I mean, let's be honest, I could talk about both libraries all day long. So I'm going to do my best to make a condensed version of a comparison video. There was someone who, on the VIC forums, who specifically requested to do an example of the, I think it was the E or E articulation. So let's go ahead and get that out of the way first. Let me pull that up here. Let's go ahead and do the women. And to be fair, I don't think I covered these articulations in my chorus review, so it's probably a good thing that we're going to go over that today. So here we go. Maybe. Where am I at? There we go. And that is the Scott Smith mix. Honestly, like when I'm doing softer passages and more, I guess, isolated and exposed passages, I guess, I actually like to use the classic mix. It's a little more natural. It's a little more just all around soft, I guess. So that is the sustained E. Let's check out the E. I think I like this one more, actually. The legato seems to be a little better. Let's turn this up, though. That is one thing about the classic mix, is that you have to turn up the volume. And you'll have to forgive me. There is, because I'm screencasting this and playing at the same time, there is like a little bit of a lag. So it does sound a little sluggish. Really pretty sound. Really pretty sound overall. And to boost things up a notch, let's go back to the Scott Smith mix. So there you go. That's the women's. Let's check out the men's. Men's eh. Let's see what the lowest note is here. Got a nice low B. So that is the E. Let's check out the E. Turn that up a little bit. I need to learn how to play the time tempo song from the Zelda games. All right, so there you go. And then I think there is a ensemble. Yep, there's an ensemble. So let's check this out. But honestly, let's see here. Okay, so that's eh. Let's check out the E. Sustained. That's really pretty. Yeah, I think I do like the E articulation more. Let's turn this up a little bit, though. So there you go. We got the E and the E. Okay, let's move on though. Let's talk about the actual differences between the libraries, because there are a ton of differences. So first things first, let's talk about the actual tone. So Storm Choir Ultimate has a very over the top vibrato, and it's a Slavonic type of style, and that is very, very deliberate. So let's check out the performance patch here. One thing that's really cool that Storm Choir Ultimate has over Chorus is the split, the men and women, how this is arranged. You can have it divided, normal, or in octaves, which is really cool. It would have been awesome if there was something like that in Chorus, but unfortunately there just isn't. So here we have the and let's compare the tonality of the two different libraries. So let me load up an ensemble patch here. Let's do this. We'll load that up, and then I'll go into my other instance over here, and we'll load up the performance patch. Let's turn up that mod wheel here. Okay, let's turn this close-up mic a little bit. That lag is throwing me off a little bit. So that's in octaves. You can do a normal. You can, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, you can actually control the, maybe you can't do it on the performance patch. On the other patches, you can control the stereo width, which is really cool. So let's compare this tone. That's a really dry sound. Turn up some reverb here. I am clipping there. My bad. So let's compare that to Storm Choir Ultimate. I have a feeling this is going to be a lot louder. So, and it is. So let's turn this down a little bit here. So let's actually compare just a couple of notes here. We'll do an A/B test. One thing that I've noticed, aside from like the over-the-top vibrato and the Slavonic style, I guess, the low end in chorus is actually a lot more pronounced. So let's check out like a low C here. So that's your low C. That's your low C in chorus. And then here's Storm Choir Ultimate. Maybe. Oh, you know what? I gotta go back here. I have to put it on normal. There we go. Oh, so the performance patch in Storm Choir Ultimate only goes to a D. There actually is no low C. But listen to that low end. Compared to chorus. So the difference is very significant. So here we go. I've got these backwards. I'm going to rename these really quick so I don't trip myself up here. Okay, so here's Storm Choir. Chorus. You can barely hear that low D. So by far, Storm Choir Ultimate, when it comes to the low end, has chorus beat. Like there's no contest. So if low end is what you want, Storm Choir Ultimate all the way. But with that being said, let's talk about the actual, because there's a lot more to acquire than just the low end, right? So let's talk about the rest of the library, and let's just play some quick chords here. Dang, I got to be careful with that clipping. Let's turn this down a little bit, and let's go divided here. All right, so that was Storm Choir, and then let's compare that to chorus. Oh my freaking crap! Sorry about that. Let's turn that down. Wow. Okay. Versus Storm Choir. Let's do normal. There we go. I think that's a better comparison. That way it's not, the men and the women aren't divided. Keep clipping here though. Man. That's the problem when you're working with these triple F dynamic libraries. You got to watch your meter. And then let's compare that to chorus again. Which is a lot louder, so let's turn that down a little bit here. That was chorus. Let's compare that again to Storm Choir Ultimate. Damn, I wish I could turn this up without it clipping. Yeah, and it keeps clipping. So chorus seems to have a lot more headroom. I don't know what's up with that, but it could be something on my end. But it seems like when I try to get Storm Choir Ultimate to the same volume as chorus, it begins to clip. Let's turn this down. What if I turn this down and then turn this up? See if that's any better. Chorus is still like a lot louder. Compare that to Storm Choir. I will say that there is a a big tonal difference between the performance patch in Stormchoir Ultimate when you compare that to, say, just the normal men or the normal women. So let's compare that here now. Oh, I think we're still on chorus. My bad. Here we go. Let's turn that up here. So let's just do this. That's chorus. This is Stormchoir. So in Stormchoir Ultimate, the men and women patches, they seem to have a little more detail and a little more clarity. Oh, and there's that low end. Damn, I wish they would have sampled a low C in Stormchoir. I don't know why they didn't. Because Voton goes down to like a low G or something like that. There's chorus. Stormchoir. One thing I will notice right off the bat, or one thing that I'm hearing anyways, is that there is a lot more detail in the vocals of Stormchoir Ultimate, and I think that's because they use a much smaller section. So listen again. Here's Stormchoir versus chorus. That detail just disappears with chorus. You don't get that raspiness in the vocals, like you can hear the throat, the men's throats in Stormchoir, which is badass. There's chorus. What if we tried because I know this is the Scott Smith mix, so I wonder if we switch the mix, if we could hear any more detail in like the classic. I don't think it's going to make that much of a difference because the section sizes are different, and I think that's what gives Stormchoir Ultimate the detail. So here's chorus. Let's turn it up a bit. Oh, well, my bad. That was Stormchoir. So here's chorus. Let's turn that up a little bit more. Versus Stormchoir. Yeah, there's no comparison. If you want detail, like if you want that close-up detail in the vocals, Stormchoir Ultimate again. So and that's one reason why I did a review on Stormchoir Ultimate a couple years back, and it's one reason why I fell in love with the library, because it even though it's like this massive, has like this massive epic sound, it's also very like intimate, which is really cool. But so there's, that gives you an idea as far as tonal differences go. Let's do like an A/B test between like just a basic women's patch and because I'm a sucker for sopranos. So let's load up. Let's see here. Let's go to legato. This is one really big advantage that Stormchoir Ultimate has over chorus, is the polyphonic legato. Chorus technically has polyphonic legato, but from the way I understand it, you can't just sit down and play a chord in one hand and a melody line in your other hand. You can't do that, because I think it's limited to voicings. It's limited to like two or maybe three or four different legato voicings. So you could only do like 3 or 4 different notes playing polyphonic legato at the same time, which is really a pain in the ass. Like, it's not very intuitive. It's not very fun to play. And this is where Shreds of Sampling shines, to be honest with you. They've got it down when it comes to polyphonic legato. I think they do it better than anyone else, to be honest with you. So let's check that out, actually. For the VIC member that was requesting the E and the E articulations, unfortunately, those don't exist within Storm Choir, though I think you can create, I think I just like spit coffee on my screen. But I think you can create something similar if you wanted to with the solo builder in Storm Choir, just saying. But let's check out the polyphonic legato and let's compare the two. I just want to show you what you can do in Storm Choir and what you can't do, unfortunately, in Chorus. So let's load up a legato ooh here. And so where am I at here? Okay, so I'm on Storm Choir. So here's Storm Choir. That's women? Oh, that's men. My bad. Again. Let's load up. Here we go. Women O. And then let's load up the, I think that did, yeah, let me go back to the women in Chorus. Let's see. Women ooh, here we go. Okay, so one big difference between Storm Choir Ultimate and Chorus is that you actually, in Chorus, you have to go into Advanced, you have to go into here, click on Polyphonic Legato, and you select the velocity splits. And it's all about the velocity too, which is really interesting, the way they decided to program that. So here's Chorus. And that's the other thing too, is like it's here. So that's the polyphonic legato in Chorus. What's really weird is that sometimes it seems to work and sometimes it doesn't. And when you lift your fingers off the keys, you get like a release effect. It's almost like a second note is playing. So listen to this. Did you hear that? It's really weird. I think Audio Imperia, either I'm just a complete moron, which is a possibility, or Audio Imperia should possibly rethink this polyphonic legato approach, because Storm Choir Ultimate has them beat by far when it comes to polyphonic legato. So let's load that up. And you can what I love is that it's automatic. You don't have to go through different settings and turn polyphonic legato on. It just works right out of the box. Let's turn down some of that reverb. Clipping here, of course. And there's no weird release note. So if you wanted to do like some two-hand stuff. Let's see here. Here we go. So if you wanted to do stuff like that, you could. You can't do that in Chorus unless you use the sustain patch, but then you lose the legato, so it defeats the purpose. So that's one big advantage that Storm Choir Ultimate has over Chorus. And I think that's a pretty significant feature. But I think this is where, what I'm going to get into next, I think this is where Storm Choir Ultimate begins to show a little bit of inferiority. And I'll show you what I mean. So for starters, with Storm Choir Ultimate, you have one mix. That's it. You have one mix. Whereas with Chorus, and this is what gives Chorus a huge percent of its value, you have three different mixes. Not only that, and this right here is what I believe makes Chorus the best all-around choir library to date. This right here. You have, let's go into the multi-patches. So you have slow syllables, energetic syllables, and traditional syllables on top of the 3 different mixes. It's almost like you're getting 3 different libraries in one. Maybe that's a reach. Maybe that's a little bit of a stretch. But it adds so much versatility and flexibility to the overall library. You don't get that with Storm Choir Ultimate. Storm Choir Ultimate is pretty much one flavor. You can do some soft things, but it really, really excels at the triple F dynamic. I mean, that's what it was intended to do. And it has that over-the-top vibrato that you cannot dial out. It would have been cool if Stress sampling gave you some sort of option that allowed you to turn that off. I mean, how cool would it have been if they had recorded just a regular sustain with no vibrato and then recorded another sustain with that over-the-top vibrato and then gave you the option to crossfade between the two? That would have given Storm Choir Ultimate so much more flexibility. So it's so with Chorus having 3 different mixes and 3 different types of syllables, I don't know. It's tough. It makes it a very, very difficult competitor. Very difficult. So, and if you want to hear what those mixes sound like, be sure to check out my Chorus review, because I believe I go through those. And one thing though that I actually mentioned this in my Chorus review. One thing that I don't like about Chorus is how you have to play and this is, to me, this is somewhat of an archaic way of doing things, because like if you look at the older choir libraries like Requiem and Olympus and that kind of thing, I believe it's set up the same way. So if you load up a syllable patch, I'll show you what I mean. I think I mentioned this in my Chorus review as well. Let's turn this volume down because it's going to blow my house up if I don't. So it's still crazy loud. Okay, so one thing that I love about Storm Choir Ultimate that I wish Chorus had, it's a playability thing. So if you want to switch syllables while you're playing, you have to lift off your keyboard or use a sustain pedal to trigger a new syllable. So here's an example of that. Right? Whereas Storm Choir Ultimate, all you have to do, here, let me get back into a syllable patch. Let's load up some syllables here. Oh, my bad. Gotta remember to switch. Okay. So here's Storm Choir Ultimate. Oh, let's turn up that mod wheel. So I can play legato style and have the syllables change every time I play a new note. For me, it's so much easier to play that way. The downside, however, this is the downside. This is what makes Chorus, I think, a little easier to play. And by the way, this is only true for the syllable patches in Storm Choir Ultimate. With the performance patches, it's the exact same playability as it is in Chorus. So in Chorus, the syllable patches are pretty much a performance patch. So if you wanted to do staccatos mixed with a sustain, you can easily do that. With the syllable patches in Storm Choir Ultimate, technically you can do that. You can switch from sustain to staccato, but you have to program it though, because these syllables right now, the way they sit, They're sustains. If you wanted to turn them into staccato, you have to click on the syllable and then click on that. Or if you wanted to load up new syllables, you just hold down the shift key and that'll do it. So like that. This little arrow right here indicates that it's a staccato patch, but it's not intuitive and it's not user friendly because you have to know where the sustained syllable is and the staccato syllable is. So like if I wanted to play, it doesn't correspond with what I'm actually playing on the keyboard. It's not, I don't think that's the best design. I think the way Stormchoir Ultimate designed it in the performance patch, that's how it should be with the syllable patch. It would just eliminate so much work. And this is where Chorus really, really shines. It gives Chorus this extra level of playability that makes it, I mean, let's face it, like Audio Imperia and, teaming up with Jasper Blanc to create a choir library, like, come on. It's going to be, the playability is just going to be off the charts. I mean, there's no way around it. And in fact, when I first heard that Chorus, the syllable patches in Chorus weren't going to feature a way to adjust the tack or the release, I became incredibly skeptical and I felt somewhat let down because it's like, well, syllables, different syllables have different lengths. They're not all the same length. So you're going to have like this bleed over going on, and it's just going to be a pain in the ass like all the other choir libraries out there. But I made that mistake of assuming, and I honestly should have just realized that, wait a minute, this is Audio Imperia and Jasper Blanc we're talking about. So, and sure enough, these syllable patches, like I don't even feel like it needs any kind of adjustment because it just works. One thing that's really cool is that, and this is like somewhat of a mini game changer, because in Chorus, they give you the option to dial out that sound at the end of syllables. So that's dialed all the way out. If I dial it all the way in, one thing that is so frustrating about other choir libraries is that it has syllables that end with S or start with S. And a lot of the times it's that sound that throws off the timing and it creates like this bleed over effect that's really, really annoying. So Audio Imperia thought about this clearly and they implemented it into their GUI, and it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. I wish and in fact, this is the only choir library I know of that does this. So that's one big time advantage that Chorus has over, I think, any choir library. But like I said, the biggest advantage, I think, is you have this outstanding playability, which honestly, like the playability for the performance patch in Stormchoir Ultimate, it's pretty much the same as the syllable patches in Chorus. It's pretty much the same. So Stormchoir Ultimate has just as good playability in a lot of ways when comparing to Chorus. There was one more thing I wanted to mention. I already talked about the 3 different mics, or the 3 different mixes, and the 3 different types of syllables. Again, you're not going to be able to find a choir library that does that. I mean, you have like the best of both worlds. Like, let's actually pull up the slower syllable patches so you can hear, and let's compare that to Stormchoir. So let's load up let's see here. Here we go. Here's the slow. And then I want to compare that to Stormchoir Ultimate. I want to see, we already know that Stormchoir Ultimate can do the triple F thing, with no problem. That's not a concern. But can it do the softer dynamics? Let's find out. All right, so here we go. We have the the chorus ensemble slow syllables. And just to show you how pretty and delicate, let's put this on classic, because I think classic works best with the slower syllables. And let's see what we got here. I mean, it's stunning. It's just gorgeous. It's just a beautiful tone. Can Storm Choir Ultimate do something similar? Well, let's find out. So we're on the women's patch of the syllables. Let's actually, here's what I want to do. I actually want to remove those staccatos, and let's just do a sustain. Here we go. So let's see if Storm Choir Ultimate can pull off those P, whatever. Those dynamics, the slower, softer ones. Let's see what we got here. Well, oh, I'm cheating. That's chorus. Let's get back here to Storm Choir Ultimate. Let's check our levels. Let's turn this up a little bit here. So, I don't know. It sounds like Storm Choir can do some of the soft stuff as well. Let's compare that to chorus. So here's what I'm thinking. I have the men's loaded up, so that's not fair. Let's just solo the women's here. Compared to Storm Choir. So here's my opinion on that. First off, I am a little surprised at how well Storm Choir Ultimate can pull off the softer dynamics. However, I don't think it sounds as good as chorus. It sounds like it's somewhat being forced just a little bit to get down to those softer dynamics, whereas chorus sounds far more natural to me, and it should be because we're using a slow syllables patch. It was intended for, the soft and delicate stuff, right? Whereas with Storm Choir Ultimate, here let's compare that again. Here's the thing, you also have to ride the mod wheel pretty low with Storm Choir Ultimate. And I can't tell. I honestly can't tell if Stress of Sampling actually recorded softer dynamics and they blended them in with this, or when you ride that mod wheel down, it's just changing the volume. I can't tell. Maybe your hearing is a lot better than mine, and you can, decide for yourself. I don't know. Maybe it's just a volume thing. Whereas chorus, you know for a fact they recorded those lower dynamics. This sounds better to me. For the soft stuff, chorus, I don't know. Make up your own mind, but I would probably use chorus for the soft and maybe the MF dynamics as well. But you know, I think overall we've covered the tone, we've covered the playability, we've covered the features, except there's a couple more things about Stormchoir Ultimate that I want to mention that it has over chorus, and that is the effects and the soloists. Chorus doesn't have either one of those. So let's check out some of those effects, because these effects are pretty badass. So let's see here. So what do we got? Oh, my bad. Let's switch over to chorus. Some creepy ass shit up in here. I mean, it's your standard choir effects, but they sound pretty damn cool. And then you have the soloists. So if you need soloists, you're not going to get them from chorus. Let's check out. So we have, and this is kind of cool. Like they gave you two different types of soloists. I mean, you have a tenor, a soprano, mezzo-soprano, bass, and alto, but in each of those you have a dramatic and lyrical, which I think is pretty cool. Let's check out the soprano because I'm partial to sopranos, as I mentioned earlier. Let's load up some. You don't get as many syllables, but and then the range is pretty limited as well. Okay, what's going on here? There we go. So I'm clear down here. And the soloists sound pretty good. I mean, for being like a bonus, like an add-on to a choir library. Let's check out the dramatic. That probably has more vibrato. Let's load up some more articulations. Yeah, more vibrato. There we go. It does have a very distinctive sound, though. You know, it's like very Slavonic, and it's a cool sound. I mean, if that's the sound you're going for, Stormchoir has you covered. But as you can see, there are tremendous differences between the two, significant differences between the two. You have both pros and cons between each library. Chorus offers three different mixes with three different types of syllables. That is a lot of value for your money. You get so much just right there because you're never going to need to reach for another choir library for anything. Like that covers everything. It also has because the tone isn't very distinctive, I think it's more flexible. It's going to be able to fit in far more compositions because of that, whereas Stormchoir Ultimate, on the other hand, has that over-the-top vibrato, and it's a Slavonic tone, which is very cool, but that tone is somewhat niche, and it's going to be somewhat limiting if you want something that's more flexible and versatile. So that's the difference between the tone. Playability overall is about the same when it comes to the performance patches. Unfortunately, the Syllabuilder patch in Stormchoir, it's not as intuitive as I'd like it to be. As you could see, I was fumbling my way through it. But it's very capable. I mean, if you were to dedicate, some good time in learning the library, you're going to get some pretty good mileage out of it. Chorus just freaking works. I mean, you play and it works. And, hats off to Jasper and Audio Imperia for for creating just one hell of a choir library, because I don't know, it's really, as an all-around choir library, it's really, really tough to beat. It also has that really cool S feature where you can turn that type sound off or on. You've got a couple of different reverbs in here. You've got 3 different mixes. You've got the 3 different types of syllable patches. What else? Is there any other standouts about Chorus that I need to mention? There probably is, and I'm probably not even thinking about it. But let's talk about the standouts with Storm Choir Ultimate. So you have a choir that's heavily capable of doing the triple F dynamic with, in spades. It has no problem doing that at all. It can also do the soft stuff, as I showed you earlier. Does it do it as well as Chorus? Maybe not. And it probably wasn't intended for that either. So there is that. But the standout features, I would say, is that you can actually, when you actually learn how to do this, I knew how to do it when I first did my review for Storm Choir, but since then I've forgotten how. But you can combine and morph the syllables, which is really cool. And then you can control the duration between them, which again is cool. It also has the basic ADSR, the attack and the release for the syllable patches. Chorus doesn't have that, but I don't think Chorus needs it. I just don't. The syllable patches work amazingly out of the box, so you don't even need any kind of I don't think you do. I don't think you need to adjust it. Let's see what else. Yeah, Storm Choir Ultimate comes with the effects, the soloists, pretty damn cool, and I think that's it. I think that's what Storm Choir Ultimate has over Chorus. So, in conclusion, if you want the best all-around choir library that's going to pretty much fit all of your needs and just work for you with no fuss, Chorus is the library to beat. It's an A. I'll give it an A-. I'd give it an A+, but because of the polyphonic legato, I don't know. I gotta dock it a point for that, and that's just me personally. You may get along with it a lot better than me. Storm Choir Ultimate polyphonic legato, it's got it down. Like it's pretty much unbeatable at this point. So that's another advantage that Storm Choir Ultimate has over Chorus. At the end of the day, I don't think you can go wrong with either of these libraries. They sound amazing. The playability is excellent on both of them. They just have, a couple of things about them, a couple of pros and cons, and you really just have to weigh each one out. Do you want a choir that is more versatile with its tone, that's probably gonna fit in more composition styles, or do you want a choir that has that over-the-top vibrato that's really going to help cut through a mix? It's one sound, though. It's pretty much one sound, whereas Chorus, I feel like you get a lot more. And, do you want something that has better polyphonic legato? If you do, Storm Choir Ultimate's the way to go. Do you need something that has effects and soloists? Again, Storm Choir. Do you want, a choir library that is going to do the soft dynamics just as well as the loud dynamics? Chorus, easily. And that's pretty much it. I mean, you can't go wrong with either library. And I think that's my conclusion. You just want to be sure that you know what you want, because I would hate for anyone to buy a library only to regret their purchase, because I've done that before. I think we've all done that. I think we've all made those regret purchases. So as far as overlap goes, I mean, you can have, if you want, buy both of them. There pretty much isn't any kind of overlap. I don't think so. I don't think there's any overlap with these two choir libraries. They sound very different. They both function very differently from each other. So, anyways, I think that sums it all up, guys. I'm sorry if I left anything out. I know that, again, I could talk all day about these two libraries, but I think we've covered the basics plus some with both of these libraries. And it all comes down to the features and what type of sound you want. So anyways, that's it, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, I'm Mike Fox, and we'll catch you guys later. Peace.